Lao Tzu's words invite us to transcend words, since words are used as the rationalizations of the tyrannies that we have established over each other. He offers us what in his time were alternative utopian pathways to a more harmonious life. Today, in this dawn of the 21st century, the great integrity presents itself as a practical and achievable goal, and perhaps is the only alternative to our own species' extinction. Right at the beginning, Lao Tzu invites us to transcend words. In the infinite sea of the universe, there were no names, naming fragments the mysteries of life into 10,000 things and their manifestations. But how does one take issue with the world of words without using words? By being rather than by arguing. That in fact was Lao Tzu's way. He probably never wrote this book because polemics was the very target of his advocacy. More likely, many generations of his disciples and followers summarized his philosophy of life in these metaphoric fragments which sing the literary music of the right brain. The transcendence of language through unordinary language, because paradox is the principal mode of Lao Tzu's thought processes, and because it is the nature of the Chinese language, especially ancient Chinese, to be poetic, I have rendered these 81 sections as verses, although the original is written more like Chinese prose than poetry. Moreover, how else, then, through poetry, can one employ the left brain to transcend itself? How else can one criticize logical thinking without using logic? And how else does one merge yin and yang, whose very nature expresses polarization? Above all, it is not Lao Tzu's way to preach. He gently reminds us that preaching is a judgmental activity that negates the great integrity. That the very act of raising the flag of the great integrity is itself an act of preaching, one of the inherent paradoxes of the Tao Te Ching. But the opposite of disputation and logic is not randomness and irrationality. I have attempted in these translations to preserve a subject focus while immersing each verse in the paradoxes that are at the heart of Lao Tzu's thought. The translations have deliberately avoided entrapment in either the prison of logic or in a hodgepodge of disconnected thoughts. It is the paradox of every poet to have to transcend the logical function of language through language. It is a higher level of paradox when the very content of the poetry is dedicated to the transcendent. To this transcendence, the ultimate consistency of Lao Tzu's wisdom is for us to